In this video, we're going to look at plotting a specified rule onto a Cartesian plane. What we need to do is draw up a table of values. It tells us here to do x values from -3 to +3, so we'll do that. So I'll draw up a table, select the x values, and it tells us to select the x values between -3 and +3. Okay, so once we have selected our x values, we substitute each x value into the equation to find the corresponding y value. So in other words, I'll start, for example, with substituting 1 into the equation. So my equation is y is equal to x plus 2. But in this case, x is 1. So instead of x, I write 1 plus 2. So in other words, I've put that 1 there in place of x. And I'm now going to work out what the corresponding y value is. So y is 3. So I put 3 there. Let's do this next. I'll write out my equation, and instead of x this time, I'm going to put 2. Because x here is 2. So y is 2 plus 2. So y is equal to 4. So in this example, what I've done is x is 2, I've put the 2 there instead of x. So it's 4. Let's do our next one. Y is equal to x plus 2. Instead of x, I'm going to put 3. And 3 plus 2 is 5. So that 3 I've put here instead of x. I keep doing that for the whole table. I actually may, however, recognise there's a pattern. I can see here that it's going up by 1, up by 1. So if I can see that pattern, I can say, well, this is going to be a 2, because if I put a 2 there, there's a difference of 1 between 2 and 3. But let's substitute a negative in just to check that we know how to do it. So I write y is equal to x plus 2. And in this case, x is -3 in this case here. So y is equal to -3 plus 2. And -3 plus 2 is -1. So again, what I've done, I've put the -3 here in place of x. Okay, so I do this all the way along for my table. I'll substitute -2, y is equal to x plus 2, and then instead of x, I'm going to put -2, and that is equal to 0. And in the next case, y is -1, so y is equal to x plus 2, y is equal to -1 plus 2, so y is equal to 1. Now this is going to be a linear graph, because y equals x plus 2 gives us a linear graph. There's no squares or cubes or square roots in that equation. So it is going to give us a linear graph. So yes, a pattern does exist going up in ones. And what I then do is plot these points onto my table. So this point here is the point x is -3, y is -1. There, that's been plotted there. This next point is -2, 0. That's been plotted there. The next point here is -1, 1. There, that's plotted. So each of these points here, oh, sorry, I don't know what's happened there. Just erase that out. Oh, hang on. Each of the points there have been plotted onto our graph. So in this case, this point here is the point 3, 5. So yeah, plot those all and then join them with a straight line. So we have plotted the graph of this rule from the values -3 to 3. We've used our table. So remember, in our table, select the x values, and in this case we're told the x values. Substitute each x value into the linear equation to find the corresponding y value. Plot these coordinates on a Cartesian plane, rule a straight line through the plotted points, and label this line with the rule. So here's the rule, and label the line with the rule. Okay, let's look at our next worked example. Plot 2 points and hence draw the graph y equals 2x plus 1. So it says we only have to choose 2 x values. So in my table, x and y, and we can choose 2 x values. So we'll do what the textbook's done. Let's choose when x is -2 and when x is 3. Just randomly chosen 2. Here's my rule. Y is equal to 2x minus 1. So in the first case, I'm going to substitute. Instead of x, I'm going to put -2. So y equals 2 lots of -2 minus 1. Subtract 1. So what I've done, this -2, I've put there. So 2 lots of -2 is -4, subtract 1, so y is -5. So I've found my corresponding y value. In the next case, y equals 2x, subtract 1. This case, x is 3, so 2 lots of 3, subtract 1. So again, what I've done, x is 3, instead of x, I've put 3. 2 lots of 3 is 6, 6 subtract 1 is 5. So now I've got 2 points to plot on my Cartesian plane. The first point I've got is -2, -5. Remembering it's in the order of x, y. Order is important. Second point is 3, 5. And you can see these 2 points have been plotted on the Cartesian plane. A line has been drawn through the 2 points, and then we have labelled the line with the given rule. So that is how we plot rules onto a Cartesian plane, so plotting linear graphs.